Good morning. It's Sunday Fun Day on the upper deck. I'm Lynn. There's Chris. And today is all about Aaron James Judge. Cue the music.
Cue the music.
Hello. Welcome back.
Hello.
So, how we doing, Chris?
I'm doing fantastic. I can't wait to spend half an hour or so talking about the captain.
Yes, and what a nice change of events to just talk about some positive things. Although we'll fall into the negatives because let's face it, there's more of that than the other. But
Oh,
hey,
absolutely.
hey NFE, hey Dev, hey FJ, good to see you guys. Yeah,
And unfortunately, we're having our first glitch of the morning. I don't have my laptop today. I'm on my iPad, so I can't really see the chat. Lynn, you're going to have to fill me in.
you got it. I got the chat. I got their back. I got your back. And I would love to have seen Lori back. So if anyone sees our friend Lori, we have no way of contacting her. And we know our schedule was a little wonky last week.
Yeah.
So if any of you know her off this little club we got going on here, tell her we miss her. So Chris, we're gonna talk about we're gonna kick things off with the captain.
Yes, we're kicking things off today with our captain. He has been the recipient recently of some awards, of some definite recognition. Let's just take a look at 2023. Let's start with some numbers. He hit 267, 37 home runs, 75 RBIs, and a 4.5 WAR. I'm trying to see if I wrote down somewhere how many games he played this year, and it looks like I didn't. I wish I had done that, but I didn't. So, but that's okay. He's not far off his career numbers as we expect, despite missing the time.
Yeah, and he had an honor recently. You were telling me about before the show.
Yes. The five-time All-Star, Rookie of the Year MVP, and former Silver Slugger has been awarded the Roberto Clemente Award. As everyone knows, that's MLB's highest honor. And we are thrilled here at the upper deck to congratulate the captain.
Can anyone think of anyone more deserving from the nominees this year?
No.
I'm just curious, if we're being biased and, guys in the chat, you think, Lori, we were just talking about you.
We were just wondering where you were.
Oh, thank goodness, Lori's back. So anyone feel that there was someone else that deserved the Roberto Clemente Award more than Judge?
Right.
I'm remembering all the other nominees, but well deserved. Are we in agreement on that?
I think so. Yeah,
I would think so. It's radio silence in the chat.
Yep.
But
well, Judge's All Rise Foundation, which he established in 2018, is really the cornerstone of his empire, so to speak. It supports youth in both New York and in San Joaquin and Fresno counties in California. He's bi-coastal in his efforts. He must be spreading himself pretty thin to support this effort on two coasts. But that's the Judge. He's got naturally gargantuan aspirations.
Yep, his size matches his aspirations, or vice versa. And I wish I could remember the other nominees. I saw Judge and I was done.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but and if he absolutely, who better than Judge, and that's why he got it, and he was so deserving. And just another ribbon on the shelf for him, and that's a lot. I mean, he's baking a really solid cake for the Hall of Fame.
Oh, absolutely. And also, not to talk over you, I'm sorry. Judge's number is being retired by Fresno State, his college alma mater, on November 18th, from what I understand. So that's another career highlight for him that he has coming at him. He's just an amazing. He's the captain, and no, I can't imagine anyone else being the captain of the Yankees at this, especially at this time of the Yankees history.
Yep, and by that I'm supposing that you mean, it's officially hot stove season,
Yep.
and the trade rumors are flooding in, and what's going to happen next with the Yankees and winter meetings, and what might they actually do or change? Is the audit
Right.
done? Who knows?
Oh yeah.
And oh, and by the way, NFE, thanks. 98 days till catchers and pitchers.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that gives me hope. That gives me something
Okay.
to hope for.
Less than 100 days is a good metric. And yep. NFE, kick it off then with this free agency stuff.
Yes.
Yes, Yamamoto is officially a free agent.
Yep.
And, Chris, I know you had some numbers on Yamamoto from yesterday.
Oh yeah. We've got some numbers. Yamamoto has done something amazing recently, and that is he pitched 9 innings, 138 pitches. I believe that was a complete game, right, Lynn? Didn't we just look that up?
Yep.
No walks, 0 walks, and 14 Ks. This man needs to be a Yankee.
That's right. Yep, and there's his line right there.
Yep.
So this 25-year-old kid, we got to have him.
Yeah, 25 years old. He's 5'10", which is kind of on the small side, which I thought was interesting. Someone brought that up in one of the articles I looked at. He has been compared to Marcus Stroman, who's a 2-time Gold Glove winner, because I guess Yamamoto is really good with the glove side too. He's very athletic on the mound. He has a diverse repertoire of pitches. He's pitched to a 14-6 league best with a 1.32 ERA in 150 innings this season. He is hot stuff.
Yep, and so he's hot, and Brad says the hot stove more like a slow drag for 3 months.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. But you know what this chat does? You fuel the fire. So
yeah.
the upper deck hot stove's going to be hot at least.
Yeah, we're going to fuel the fire for sure.
While we're waiting for everyone else to get to it. And yeah, so and FJ says that so the Yankees are clearing the roster. Actually, yeah, Chris and I were talking before we jumped on about all the guys they put out on waivers and options. So you got a laundry list from IKF and McKinney and Cordero Incorporated, Weber and I'm missing one. So yeah, they're clearing house, and I am not seeing any buzz, fans or otherwise, on Torres. So it looks like we're keeping Torres. And
you missed Billy McKinney.
Oh,
how did people feel about Billy McKinney being on that list? I mean, I thought that he did a decent job considering what he was brought on board to do. He did that. Seems like pretty harsh.
Yeah, I mean, he certainly was there for us when we needed to fill a lot of gaps in the outfield. And you would think that if the purse allowed, that they would keep him. If to fill in again this coming season. I mean, face it, we were already plagued with injuries very early in the season last year. But hey, Steve, good morning, good to see you. And so, but maybe that's an indication that really they're just dealing these out to make room for the big guns that everyone's talking about here in the chat.
Right.
And so NFE is saying 200 million for 8 years for Yamamoto is his prediction.
Right.
He's laying.
I saw that he would get projected value for his contract greater than 75 million for 5 years. That apparently that's what Sengai got. Kodai Sengai got that for the Mets last year.
Mm-hmm.
So they think he's going to get more money than Sendai got.
And I think he's going to be forced to go higher than an original bid because per MLB.com, the number of teams courting Yamamoto is growing.
Yeah,
and that's not unpredictable, right? But right. we have a slew of them. From obviously we knew about the Yankees, Mets, and Dodgers, Red Sox, but now the Diamondbacks. Hungry after making the World Series, I suppose, and looking to be better and actually win it again, and a couple of others. Tigers might be on there as well, but there's a long list, and everyone's catching on to the trend, and everyone wants a piece of the pie. So the Yankees are going to have to keep up in their numbers. I'm sure it's going to get into a bidding war.
Oh, I know. And NFE, are you really interested in Stroman or Erod in the Bronx? Let me know. Stroman, I find to be a head case. Is that the same for anybody else? He's been around, so I wouldn't necessarily be a big Stroman fan. Erod, I want to see Yamamoto. Barring that, I want to see Blake Snell. Barring that, I don't want to see them go out and get any pitchers that aren't going to come in and be. I just go get the best. Do the best.
My concern with Stroman, even though Feinsand from MLB.com, Mark Feinsand, said that Stroman's proven himself worthy this season as a solidly above average starter. Despite all the injuries, etc., he's entered his past 4 seasons with an ERA plus no worse than 113. Okay, but you know what? We've talked about this virtually every show. We're tired of bringing on the injured and the sea tossed and the homeless and
exactly.
Bring us the free agents that are injured and
right.
go. No, I think I'm leaning towards we have so many opportunities that let's get Yamamoto before we even think about and this above average. If we're going to stick with that standard above average starter, then why not keep Schmidt and or King in the starting rotation?
Right.
So I don't know. I'm not seeing.
And that's the question. That is the $1 million question. Will the Yankees continue to dumpster dive and go after redemption projects for 2024 as they have done in the past recent seasons? Or are they going to go out and get Soto, get a Bellinger, or get Snell, or get Yamamoto, get the big name free agents, or trade for the player that we want and need in the lineup to really make this team a championship team? Which way are they going to go?
Well, who we're missing in the free agent talks, and it's very recent, is Erod. Eduardo Rodriguez is a free agent. And, again, MLB.com, Mark Feinsand has him as the number 12 free agent in his top 25.
Okay.
And Heyman is saying that Erod will land a deal for $90 million over 5 years.
Wow.
Get as much as $100 million or more.
Okay.
So interested to hear, guys, in the chat, what your thoughts are on Erod. And, and it's an apples and oranges choice to make in terms of the big bucks right now, right? The big bucks for Soto or the big bucks for the pitching, and how are they going to do both? And then pay attention to the pen, like we talked about in other shows. So it's a lot to think about, a lot of moving parts, and so Steve's saying no to neither. They have a plethora of starters about to knock at the door in 24 and 25. add Yamamoto, and with King a new member, we should be okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
And FJ, I love the optimism. They think the Yankees are more likely to get Soto than Bellinger. So
I prefer Soto to Bellinger myself.
right,
And Bellinger's had this career year. He just had this amazing year, but he was, I get, he had injury issues. He didn't have a couple great years. I mean, I would like Bellinger to have like a couple great years before he's given. I don't know. I want Soto's the man. Bring in Soto.
yeah, bring in Soto, and NFE is standing up and saying he'd be good, but only if they don't get Yamamoto.
Right.
But then others are saying, you know, happy DST from Elliot, from Spencer. DST.
Yes.
Daylight savings time.
Yes.
I already
Yeah.
forgot I had an extra hours of sleep. Okay, got it. Yeah. So,
Yeah, I would say that Marcus Stroman would be the consolation prize. But okay, if we end up with Marcus Stroman, that's fine. I don't see what the difference would be if we, as you had pointed out, in that instance, just go with King or Schmidt. But
right,
yeah.
right. And LA, hey LA, good morning. Is saying the Yankees could easily do both Soto and Yamamoto, but we would need Cashman to have a brain. Uh,
Yeah,
so
I'm calling for Soto and Yamamoto. We need both.
And that's interesting. So, a lot of people have been linking Bellinger to the Yankees. His dad played for the team too, which I had forgotten.
Okay.
Okay, so there's that legacy angle going on.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I'm not going to cry if Bellinger comes over. I mean, it would be to me another case of not getting the big dollar name. It's go get me Soto.
yep. And Brad saying that Cashman's already trolling the dumpster, ready to strike.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, that makes me nervous, Brad. I'm wondering what you have in mind with that we're not thinking of or mentioning or mentioned, prior. But yeah, we can't rule that out. It's, will this be another dumpster dive, horrible acquisition season? But apparently, according to LI, Bellinger doesn't want to come to the Yankees.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so I don't know. Then LI, maybe you could just give him a call, meet him for a beer, do us a solid, and have a talk. Yeah, and so so Eli's tossing out McMahon among Yamamoto and Soto.
Okay, I don't know that name. Am I stupid?
No, you don't. It's not on my radar in my notes even this week. So,
Yeah.
and then NFE says that there's a picture from Cuba, Yariel
Okay.
Rodriguez, um,
Oh,
who should be looked at. So I'm gonna take some notes for next week on that. Um,
exactly.
it's interesting that they cleared out, so much of the outfield, and that's making me think that they're going to acquire somebody, and not even thinking about what the trade package would include. So maybe that is the direction, being Soto, but we've been disappointed before, and we'll have to manage our expectations there. So
It's definitely time for action. I know that I myself am like digging for information. I'm so hungry to hear what's going to happen. That it's just crazy the rumors that are swirling and all the different names that are going around. I can't wait for that first domino to fall.
Yeah, absolutely. And FJ, you're right. I was reading on this week that the Padres have some financial dealings to take a hold,
Yeah,
and this would be a big thing off their books. To trade them out, and they're in trouble not just with their team, but they're in trouble in the farm as well. So they really need to build up and have the coins to do it. So they're even as NFE says here, that um, yeah, they've declined some player options just to hold on to them.
right. But
So
then I heard some speculation. What if the Padres kept Soto and traded Tatis? What if that there might be some different ways the Padres could go with their roster? So I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun ride and interesting to see what happens when things break out here, which I hope is going to be soon. Because don't they have 5 days to or when do they have to accept the qualifying offers? Do they have 5 days or something? From
I'm
the end of the
I'm going to let the
from
check
the end of
on that.
the World Series or something. So what my point is, I think some things are going to start happening.
Well, we're already seeing it, right? And so and Steve's saying in terms of the roster, we have to make room on the 40 man.
Right, right.
For kids at risk of the Rule 5 draft.
Yeah,
And that's Steve's theory, as opposed to mine. And I'm deferring to Steve on this, that the reason for that purge has to do with protecting the prospects
right.
for the the Rule 5 draft. And we're saying about Soto that they're going to keep him till the deadline and then put the squeeze on.
Yeah.
Um, and if he counters, the longer that the Padres wait, the less they'll get back.
Right.
So, and let's see, we have LI saying the Yankees can easily make 2 trades with the Padres, one to do financially helping the Padres and one to get Juan Soto.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let's just say it's time. Let's make the move. Let's do it. And now, who else are you in the chat? Who else are you interested in seeing the Yankees acquire this offseason? Is there anybody else out there that is it? It looks like that the Yankees are going to at least get rid of 2 catchers. That's going to happen. Probably Higgy and let's see. Trevino and Wells will remain. Higgy will probably get traded or not traded, but is Higgy a free agent? I forgot.
I believe he's going to be a free agent, but
yeah. But anyway, so there's
as well prepared for class as usual.
And that's all right.
Yeah, we in the chat about free agency, and FJ says it begins tomorrow, unrestricted free agency.
Okay.
But Brad's saying that qualifying offers are next month. Windows open in 2 days. At the moment, you could only negotiate with your own free agents.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, and Brad's saying 1 more year. Thanks, Brad.
Thank you.
Just spent an extra hour on better prep for the show, but so and so Steve's calling out about a guy from Korea.
Yeah.
Lee.
Is that Hoon Jun Lee or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it's Lee. Mm-hmm. I have heard that name thrown out there.
And if anyone with the name Matsui, I'm all for.
Oh yeah, or Tanaka. No, I'm kidding. Just kidding.
Yep, and yeah, confirmed Young Ho Lee from NFE.
Yeah.
So with all these names being bandied about on our wish list, their wish lists for for until probably opening day, until the very last. I know I'm exaggerating, but Who do you all think is the most likely? With everything we know about Hal and his wallet, Cashman and his brain, the Yankees in general, and their reliance on analytics. Who do you think we're mostly best aligned for getting something we're wishing for? Who do you think is a pretty solid? Yeah, we'll have him in the spring.
Interesting.
Just based on what you know about all the players we just discussed,
right,
and the history. Hey, FJ is all for Matsui, by the way. Fill the closer role. Yeah, we haven't even gotten to the bullpen. And we talked about that at length last week or the week before that. That we do have that to worry about.
Right.
We need to stack that bullpen back up, and we need a closer.
Yeah.
We need, someone who can't be Rivera, but we need a closer, a solid every other night guy, if not every night, because we have the luxury of reserving him for those bottom of ninth situations.
Right.
And we're really, really, really gonna need that. So Matsui, FJ is saying, so I'm also tossing that out. Who are some other closers, some knockout, lights out closers?
Well, Hader. Oh. I don't know what Hader's status is. Would we have to trade for Hader?
Yep. So Matsui and Josh Hader.
Right.
So Li, what's Hader's status?
Would we have to trade for Hader, or is he a free agent now?
Yep.
And Lynn, to answer your question that you just posed to the chat, I think we're going to end up with Yamamoto. I really do think I think Lori's right. Lori, you're so right. We want Soto. We're going to get Kiermaier. That's such a Cashman move.
Yep. Another booby prize. So, yep. And Steve's agreeing with you, Chris, that Yamamoto is the most likely.
Yeah.
And so, and yep. And Hader is a free agent. So,
okay.
He only wants to be a 3-out closer.
Well, that's interesting.
Well, it's interesting, but it's also what I just described. I mean, Mo was a 3-out closer.
Right.
So, that just, you save him for the very last moment. But FJ is saying that he's going to cost bucks.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. Whether or not the Yankees spend big enough to include Yamamoto, Soto, and Hader, but my God, that would be a blockbuster offseason.
Oh, well, wait a minute. I don't want another diva.
No.
Got rid of the biggest bullpen diva of my life. I'm not going to mention that he now has a ring, which I'll never get over. But he was mad because he had a pitch to get 4 outs. Really? No. I'm now a hater. No. No.
Hey, is anyone in the chat interested in reuniting with Monty? We could do that. The Yankees could offer Monty something. I love him. He's my favorite pitcher. I'll follow him as long and as far as I can.
And if you go get some Dayquil for that little tickle in your throat.
Yeah.
Do I want Monty back? I didn't want Monty to go.
No, hell no.
I would welcome him back with open arms, with the guarantee that we'll have 2023 Monty in 2024.
Yes.
And all signs looking really good. I think he has to get himself into better shape.
Yeah.
I don't know what went on, out there, too much barbecue or something. Not that I'm one to talk, but I'm not a professional athlete. But I'd like to wear my shirt again with his number on it. So no, I'm a Monty girl. I would welcome him back. And Lori's always with the yes and the womp womp. Yes to Monty, but Cashman will sign Bumgardner. Oh my God, the nightmares, the nightmares.
It's so true, though. That's what we've been. This is what Yankee fans have come to expect. And we need the front office to completely bunk our expectations and give us surprises this year.
Absolutely. And FJ, you're right. Texas would be absolutely foolish to let Monty walk.
Oh, yeah.
And so, but, and yeah, oh, but he thinks that he signs with Texas or St. Louis.
Yep, that would probably be right.
Okay. Well, you think NFE, I'm guessing that's because of bad blood, like screw you, Yankees, you're not getting me. And it relates to my dream that I stated last week with I just want him to go into the front office and do this, to have Cashman and say kiss it, give it a little. I would just that's my dream, and I'll dream about it. Lori's saying, that Monty will go where there's the most cash.
And
so
well, he should.
He's and I don't know.
Hader not wanting to pitch 4 outs. Well, if Hader is in fact as good as he claims to be, fine. Pitch 3 outs. Just be sure that you get those 3 outs, buddy.
Eli, the worst thing to say to a woman is to chill and relax. Okay. Just saying.
Hey, yeah, and
deal. He should be doing his job, whatever it calls for, as a closer. Period.
Yes.
And I'm fine. And you know what that means when a woman says that. Okay, and then if he's saying that he doesn't think Monty wouldn't come back because of bad blood,
right?
Made that clear.
Well, he certainly.
Okay.
Well, he did not. He was his. Well, I'm sorry.
Sorry, that's why I love him, because he's gracious. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I was going to say Monty is probably not even the same Monty that left the Yankees. So coming back is, I'm sure he'd be coming back kind of a different pitcher.
Yeah, well, I mean, with a certain panache, right?
Right.
He's had some stripes added to his arm there.
Yes, he has.
And so I mean, we'll see what occurs, but next week I think we should definitely make sure to talk more about the bullpen and what transpires this week in terms of other free agencies names that fly out there. And so I'm wondering if I could spend a minute with just a quick women's in baseball mention.
Sure.
It's been a while, but there's some people who listen and some here in the chat that are deeply involved in their communities and in baseball. And so I just wanted to mention, and this is from our friends from the International Women's Baseball Center. You can follow them on Twitter at IWBC4Me. And this is their mission. The mission is to protect, preserve, and promote all aspects of women's baseball, both on and off the field. And they're looking for nominees for the Hustle Award. The Hustle Award is bestowed upon the IWBC in honor of beloved Rockford Peaches player Shirley Hulsa-Barkovich. Celebrates an individual who demonstrates outstanding commitment, leadership, and dedication to the empowerment of women in sports and in life.
How cool.
And here she is. Here is the beloved Shirley Barkovich.
Okay, Shirley.
And so I'm going to put the link in the chat. If you have a nominee, feel free to enter it in. And if you know someone in your life, in your experience, in your own involvement in the community that you'd like to nominate, this is a great opportunity. And so I just wanted to leave that there, and thank you for mentioning that. I am going to scroll up to a couple of mentions. So a quick mention from Spencer, and hey, Spencer, I think I saw you walk in. I'm going to dial it back to the beginning of the week and the World Series, and this talk of lackluster interest in the World Series, that there was reports of it being poor rated, poor ratings, etc. And especially on Twitter too, everyone was talking about the low TV ratings for the World Series, and Spencer saying low ratings. So what? Who cares? Let's not waste energy on who's not watching the World Series. What matters is who is, which is still millions of people. And so yes, amen to all of that. And what I would say is, who else would be watching, really? Let's be honest. But the real fans, and by that I mean the real fans of the game, are clearly still watching.
Right.
I watched the entire thing. I think many of us did. And so and NFE is saying that he liked the World Series between two wild card teams.
I liked it. Yeah, definitely.
I agree. And hey, Chris the Flash, thanks for joining. Good to see you here with us today. I think we don't need to head to such a protracted postseason. Like we get with other league sports.
Right.
I'm not liking it either. Let's just cut to the chase, no pun intended, and go back. I was barely adjusting to the concept of a wild card before they switched it up again. So I am going to now give you a trivia question of the week. And so this is just something I pulled up, and I'm going to turn to the chat for their best guesses. Just keep salt and peppering them in. So most Yankee fans know that Babe Ruth is number 1 on the top 10 list of all-time career home run leaders of the Yankees. How many of the other 9 can you name? Let's see.
That's a great question.
Start peppering them in, and then I'll scroll to the chart of the top 10.
Okay. Yes, excellent. And back to the World Series question. I watched every World Series game. I didn't watch it necessarily at live, but I watched them all. They were exciting. It was everything I hoped a World Series would be, and the team I wanted to win won. So I have no complaints about the World Series myself.
Yep, absolutely. And Li, I'm going to have to scroll up to your question. Sorry about that. There's a lot scrolling through fast. So Lori's guessing, and she's doing very well competing against herself. But yes, I feel the same about the World Series. I thought it was good baseball watching. And I thought that, and many of you predicted it wasn't going to be a sweep. And some of you, I think, were spot on with the way it landed, with 4 games to 2 or whatever it was. Oh boy, it doesn't look like I got that extra hour at all, does it? So Lori's guessing A-Rod, Reggie, and Mantle. FJ's floating in with Mantle, Reggie, Winfield.
Oh yeah.
And so let me just scroll on down. Here we go. Ruth, Mantle, Gehrig, DiMaggio, Berra, A-Rod, Williams, Posada, Jeter, and Nettles.
Wow, Posada. That's such an interesting name.
That really surprised me as well. Does any of this surprise you?
Yeah.
Once you get past Yogi? Any surprises here? I was personally surprised by Posada, and even Nettles I was surprised about. So yeah, NFE is saying the same, that he didn't expect Posada. So good. Props to Posada for that. and Li is saying that he didn't think Jeter would be there. And FJ, you know why he's saying, how could I forget Gehrig and DiMaggio? They're like, they don't need to be spoken out loud because they're trained in all of the greatness.
Right.
I think that's what it is. They're just given, so you don't need to utter them when this kind of thing is thrown at you. But really good guesses there, and so in those bottom three numbers, I think Posada, Jeter, and Nettles, might get pushed back down with some of the big sluggers we're seeing, and their numbers rising that still have years left to the game.
Right.
So that's going to be interesting.
Yep.
And Chris is saying that Judge will be there soon. I absolutely do think you're going to see Judge. Whether he wipes, he'll definitely, I think, wipe out Nettles, for sure. So, but it'll be interesting because he has a lot of years left, as do some of the others we either have or maybe acquiring. So we'll see. All right. And so, Chris, any final thoughts from you?
I'm looking forward to a week of news. Let's hope there's something to talk about and that the Yankees make some interesting news this week. I'd like to know more about this internal audit they're doing. Apparently, they've got this company called Zelus or something like that, that had worked with the Dodger organization. I don't know exactly, but so let's hope that there's something that is newsworthy that comes out of that and that we hear about it. I'm wondering how fans can hold the front office accountable for this auditing stuff. There's no way we can. We just sit around waiting for news.
Yep, and I wanna say that we're earmarking bullpen conversation next week, and and NFE is saying that
Zelus, yes.
Okay, Zealous Analytics.
Yep.
And Li is saying that I don't have the timely answer here. I guess I needed to double check my resources.
Oh no.
Huh. That's interesting. So he's already knocked Nettles out. Hey, Li, do me a solid and put where you got that number from for me in the chat if you can. And yes, Chris, it's always a good time to state the obvious. It's always good to refresh our anger on that topic.
Yes, it is.
NFE, okay, good to know. So they've worked with MLBs to improve their analytics.
Right.
So it would be. I'm going to look into them and see what their success rate has been.
Yeah.
And it's good to know that there's some credibility in their NFE, and that this isn't some startup company, on a wharf off the river somewhere.
Right, some John Boy Media company.
They could be a partner. Who knows?
I know, they could be. They could do anything.
Oh, so it's right off the MLB app. Good to know, Li. Thank you. I'm gonna. Damn it, Google! I can't do this job. Take it back next week, will ya? So next week, feel free, by the way, those of you that have Twitter, shoot us on our personal accounts, on the Upper Deck account. If you have topics you want us to chat about next week, you're here with us every week. Tell us what you want to pull up your chair around the hot stove out. But I'm throwing down bullpen. I want to see what transpires and what we have to talk about, like you, Chris. But we're not done with pitching arms. And
no.
So, and who's that? We got to get a closer.
We got to get a closer.
Okay, and if he is saying like and subscribe,
like and subscribe, don't forget.
And tell your friends. Bring a friend next week. There's as you know, thank you everybody, and as you know, bring a friend because there's always room for you right here on the Upper Deck with me and Chris every Sunday. And go Yankees!
Go Yankees!